Hello and welcome. Talking good game has just finished. Chelsea 1, West Ham United 0 at Stamford Bridge. Late Pulisic winner, but also a red card for Craig Dawson. We're here to discuss the limited highlights from the game as well as individual performance, which I'm looking forward to getting into. Actually, Gonzo. But before we get into the game, can I just ask how you're feeling? How you feeling?
I'm disappointed. I am disappointed, but to see that was massive for Chelsea. It was a massive result for them because it gives them 5 points on Arsenal, and they were really awful, weren't they? And so for them, and to see them celebrate like they did, beating little 10-man West Ham's 10-man reserve team for a lot of the game. It was massive. It was massive. It was an eerie game because of the atmosphere there. But so how do I feel? Yeah, I'm a little bit. I'm gutted because we were so. Well, we weren't good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying we played well, but we defended really well. And it's a shame that that happened so late, really, and particularly, the swings and you think, oh, he's going to score a penalty and the awful penalty. I think, hey, we're going to get a point from this, so we didn't quite get a point. But because of what's happened with Wolves, obviously the 3 points for Chelsea is much more important than the 1 point that I thought we might have because obviously we got the European semi-final coming up on Thursday.
Yeah, I'm still proud of the boys. Actually, I thought it was a really good performance, and I feel hard done by not to get a point from that game. I felt we deserved one, to be honest with you. I thought we'd done everything right. We didn't do much wrong. Moyes didn't really do anything wrong there. He set his team out early doors. Well, he picked his team to rest players ahead of Thursday, and there was a big question: can this team that we're putting out contain Chelsea? Can we do the job against Chelsea? And I think until we start seeing substitutions, the answer was very much so. And even with the subs, I thought they were positive substitutions. So I thought Moyes done all he could. I thought the players on the pitch done all they could. At the end of the day, we just fell short. And I'm not feeling robbed or anything, but just feel a little bit hard done by. But let's get into the game, Gonzo. Let's skip straight to halftime, please, because first half, neither keeper had anything to do. But at halftime at 0-0, though, what were you thinking?
Well, I thought the Chelsea fans hadn't turned up, and neither the Chelsea players. It was weird. It was sort of an eerie silence about the stadium, really, which you can understand, bearing in mind there's obviously massive uncertainty, for the players and for the fans, bearing in mind that they don't know what the future of the club holds. But it was like sort of Old Trafford at its worst. It was all you could hear was the West Ham fans throughout the first half, all the time. The West Ham fans loud and was weird, and there was lots of empty seats, and Chelsea would sort of lacking in ideas, and it made it easy for us. I've got to say, because you felt like we needed a training game because we had no centre. Well, we thought we had no centre backs. Now we really don't. But because we had no centre halves, we were playing full backs at centre back and stuff like that. And you're worried about that left side with Masuaku down there and Benrahma, in front of him, and we needed that as a training match to get our shape and get used to playing there. And I thought, well, this is perfect, Chelsea like this, because they didn't really have any urgency. They were making mistakes as well. They didn't seem to have a cutting edge at all, and it seemed pretty good. And even Yarmolenko started getting a little bit of joy as well. And half time, yeah, I thought it was. Well, the other thing was that if you noticed, Thiago Silva was starting to foul people as well. So it wasn't just that it was easy for us and Chelsea would sort of lacked a bit of bite and a bit of fizz. They were, I think they were struggling. They were massive. The fans and the Chelsea players were massively struggling.
Yeah, I was relatively happy at halftime. I thought we were playing well. I thought we were well organised. The boys were all working hard. Everybody knew their jobs. Defensively, the sound. Fabianski didn't have anything to do. Offensively, I thought we were a bit too bitty, if that makes sense. It felt like Benrahma, Fornals and Yarmolenko were almost playing well individually, but collectively not so much. I thought there was one or two opportunities we had the chance to build something going forward, and we didn't really take them. And the big one for me, the big sort of example was when Benrahma does so well to cut out Azpilicueta's back pass to Mendy. He cuts it out, he's there, he's running. You just have to slow it down or turn around or something. Just hold up the play a little bit and let Fornals and Yarmolenko come up. But he just kept running until he was at the goal line. And then he got there and thought, well, I'm just going to have to smash into the 6-yarder. But Fornals and Yarmolenko's 10 yards behind him. And it's just that. You just thought, if only we were just a little bit better, a little bit cuter in the final third, we might have had a little bit more. I thought we were slowing play down really well. We were winning free kicks every time the ball went forward. Silva, Azpilicueta, and Chalobah were committing fouls, and I thought we played it a little bit. I thought we played the referee a little bit. I thought we were going down a little bit too easily in the first half. If the Chelsea fans and players were getting frustrated, I could understand why. It had resembled Villa and Lyon against us in some ways. It is a frustrating way, but that's what we have to do. We had to do that today. We weren't going to outpass Chelsea. We weren't going to outrun Chelsea. We had to make sure that our tactics were bang on. That was clearly part of the tactical plan, because when we won them free kicks, we played the ball short, we played the ball sideways, we didn't hoof it into the 18-yarder and try and get something. I'm not going to lie, as a fan, on occasions, I wish we did put the ball into the 18-yarder a little bit from those free kicks, because I wanted to see us get on the end of it and try and make something happen. But half-time, Gonzo, I was very happy, and I thought we could keep this up for 10, 15 minutes. It gives Moyes the option to bring on the big boys and go for the win, because Chelsea were there for the taking. The first half had a pre-season friendly feel to it, or a dead rubber end of season feel to it. I guess it kind of is in Chelsea's eyes, a bit of a dead rubber. Obviously, with us focusing on Thursday, you could, again, the evidence is there that it was not our priority this week, and it had that vibe to it in the first 45. I was happy with what I saw. Second half, though, Gonzo, Chelsea started to come out and play a little bit and start cranking up the pressure. And Moyes brought on, his subs one by one, starting with Declan Rice. Up until the two incidents which we'll talk about, how did you feel the game was going?
Well, they had a really electric 7 minutes, Chelsea. From about the 48th minute, and they were, almost unplayable, you know what I mean? Which was a weird one. You'd expect them to come out 45 with the manager's words ringing in their ears. But anyway, something happened. I thought we were really struggling to contain them. Dawson was doing lots of blocks. Fabianski, plenty of saves as well. I thought, oh no, this is not good. But I've got to say, by about the 53-minute mark, it had fizzled out. The waves of attack had stopped, and we started to get some possession. It wasn't long. Actually, it flashed up on the screen. At that point, it was sort of 55-45 possession. We had 45 at that particular point. I thought, okay, well, we've got a foothold in the game now. We were starting to knock it around all right without really causing them bother, without a real cutting edge. But we'd sort of stemmed the flow. They were then not really getting past our midfield and obviously our back five, if you like. So at that point, I thought, okay, we are set up for some subs coming on. Of course, we did speak in the preview about substitutions around the 60-minute mark. And of course, we got one.
Yeah, I thought it was good to see. Surprised Rice was the first one, actually. I can understand it. I felt Chelsea had control of the second half at large. I think we kept them at arm's length, restricting them to sort of efforts in and around the 18-yarder, just outside the box. They were putting crosses in. Thought we were defensively, we were dealing with it quite well. We were trying to kill momentum when we could. But I felt Rice coming on was probably what we needed, because we're struggling to keep a hold of possession, I felt. And I know what you're saying regarding possession. It didn't feel like that to me. I felt Chelsea were very much on the up and we were struggling a little bit. So I got the Rice one. It was good to see, though. It was almost like a substitution of intent from Moyes as well, which is I've still got two more. And this is how seriously I'm taking this game. I'm going for it. I'm going for the win. The first sub was crucial for Moyes. The timing of it, but also who it was. And it had to be one of the three. It had to be one of Rice, Bowen, or Antonio to say, I'm going for the win here. Yeah. If he had brought on Vlasic or Crowley, as a fans would have went, okay, Moyes is here for a point. Moyes is here for 1 point, and that is it. But that substitution made me think, okay, he's got something up his sleeve. He wants 3 points. And I felt watching it, I felt we can turn this into 3 points if we can get the attacking substitutions correct and crank up the pressure. But the pressure kept coming from Chelsea. But Gonzo, this is the first talking point. And so it's the penalty, first of all. Thiago Silva flick on, Lukaku goes down, penalty, VAR goes and checks it, comes back and then upgrades Craig Dawson's yellow card to a red card. So Dawson sent off, penalty, two different situations. What's your thoughts on both of them?
Well, it was a penalty, obviously. I don't think Dawson needed to do it, because I think Fabianski would have been okay. I think he would have probably spread himself in front of the shot. Now, unfortunately, it's still a goal scoring opportunity, because you can then say, Lukaku might be able to chip him, or something. Let's be fair, he was through on goal. If that had been against West Ham and a guy didn't get a red card, I'd be absolutely seething. So, I thought it was a penalty and I thought it was a red card, really. But I still think Fabianski would have probably blocked the shot from Lukaku, because Lukaku ain't in great form. That little chip that death chip over the top I just described, well, that's Lukaku from other seasons. That's maybe Havertz this season. Lukaku, who wants to play for Inter Milan, then at Chelsea this season, I think Fabianski saves it.
It was frustrating, really. I think I get why Dawson's done it, by the way. It's very similar to what Aaron Cresswell did, really, against Lyon, isn't it? A little tap on the shoulder. There you go. Let's get the striker off balance. I think he's then expecting Lukaku to stay on his feet and try and score, but just a little bit off balance kind of thing. I think it's one of them. If Lukaku doesn't throw himself down on the referee, if that goes to the VAR, if the referee doesn't blow, it carries on, then it goes to VAR. I don't think VAR overturns that and turns it into a penalty. I think VAR is saying, no, there's not enough there. You've got that right, Oliver. You carry on with that. No penalty, carry on. Unfortunately for Dawson, Lukaku's got down. The referee's given it, and it's a pen, I guess. I mean, the initial contact starts outside the box, which is another thing I'm almost giving Dawson credit for. He starts, the first initial contact is outside. Unfortunately, it continues inside the box, and the foul can continue inside the box. As for the red card, it's a clear goal-scoring opportunity. Just to clarify the rules for anyone watching, two things. First of all, the double jeopardy thing only applies if there's a genuine attempt to get the ball. So because Dawson didn't try and get the ball, that's why it can be a red card. Had Dawson almost gone in from behind but tried to win the ball, it would have only been a yellow because Dawson tried to win the ball. Because there's no intent from Craig Dawson to play the ball, that's why you can have the red card and the penalty rather than just one of the two. And then I believe it's just a one-game ban, though, Gonzo, because for a straight red for that, because it's not violent play. I believe it's only a one-game ban, so he'll only miss the Arsenal game. He is available for Thursday against Frankfurt. He'll miss the Arsenal game next weekend, pending an appeal from West Ham, which I doubt we'll do. But he's fine for Europe. So if anything, he gets a rest between the Europa League games. But now we've got centre-back crisis for next weekend.
And at least he still won't get selected.
Yeah, so Val, Johnson and Fredericks are the back three next weekend, please. Anyway, penalty from Jorginho, hop, skip and jump and straight into the hands of Fabianski. It looks a bit silly when he gets it wrong. It's good when it works. It looks genius, but when he gets it wrong, it looks stupid, doesn't it? Anyway, sort of game on for West Ham a little bit. Backs against the wall again. They got their goal though from Christian Pulisic, Alonso with the assist. What do you make of it?
Well, we were attacking, basically. And I don't blame us for that, you know. I think having gone defensive for so long in the first half, I just think, you know what, take your medicine and do it. You're down to 10 men. Just carry on. Don't just hoof it up there, basically. Just hoof it up there. But we have been having a little attack, basically. There shouldn't have been any gaps there, because we just should have basically sacrificed the forward and filled all those gaps that they eventually broke into. I think it was Mount fed Alonso, who then crossed it in. And of course, we're a man over, and Pulisic is able to ghost in sort of unmarked because we've got too many players in and around the halfway line, still coming back from the fact that we'd had a little bit of ambition and gone up the pitch. So I've a little bit of naivety there for us, because we've done all the hard work. It would have been an easy goal not to concede that one. You know, even with 10 men, if everyone's 10 men behind the ball, you don't concede that goal. You don't get down the wing. Pulisic doesn't walk into a load of space. A massive shame, really, a massive shame. And it was gutting. It was absolutely gutting. There's no doubt about it. You know, they were, but you could see you could see how gutted we were. You could see obviously the relief on the Chelsea players, and the fans' faces. And I had to look at the league after and say, okay, because they got 5 points on Arsenal now and a game in hand. So that's it, really, as far as I can see. They'll get definitely top four, probably third. But I think had that a bit gone the other way, then they're looking at Arsenal probably would have caught them. I think anyway, looking at the run into the respective clubs. So I think that was they still probably would have finished fourth, because I think Tottenham would catch them. But it was massive for them and sort of a bit gutting for us. But it is the edges taken off, Geo, because Moyes did put out as much of a reserve team as he possibly could, and we've just obviously got the big game to come up on Thursday. So disappointing, but not the end of the world. That's because, and you know as well as I know, if we'd have had, Chelsea were poor. I'm not saying we would all the time West Ham with their best players beat Chelsea on form with their best players. I'm not saying that. That was an awful Chelsea team in a really weird, quiet stadium. With that in mind, had we have gone in with our top team, with Bowen and Antonio and Rice and Lanzini all from the start, we would have torn them to shreds today. There's no doubt about it. So you can understand that, that they will, the fans will know that was a terrible performance of Chelsea fans. They'll feel they got away with one, and then they'll be relieved, certainly. But I was disappointed, but not the end of the world.
It's frustrating when you watch their go back, though, because had Dawson not got sent off, you'd think Rice would be there where Pulisic is. Rice would be in his normal position because he's filling in at centre-back. Yeah. He's out of position. But also then, when I watched about like the third time, I was thinking, I wonder if Dawson is centre-back where Rice currently is. And now Rice is centre-back. If Dawson's there, would he step out and cut out that cross or something? I think he might have done. And it's a bit harsh because I'm sort of half criticising Rice for the job he's doing as a centre-back, but had he been playing defensive midfield as usual, I think he might have cut that out, actually.
Yeah, I agree.
So it was almost a goal as a result, indirectly, a result of the red card to some extent, but it came so soon after the red card as well. I think you can give the boys benefit of doubt for being a bit disorganised and a little bit unsure of who's playing where and who's playing there kind of thing. And it's not an easy thing to do, especially when you've got no substitutions. Had we had one left, I'd imagine Moyes might have taken off Ben Rama because he was the third, so he might have taken Ben Rama off and put Elise on and just kept the same formation and stuff like that. So a bit frustrating, a bit disappointing. Full time though, I agree with what you're saying. I thought we gave it a good go today, all things considered. And fortunately for us, Burnley have beaten Wolves as well. They were kicking off at the same time. Burnley 1, Wolves 0. So the team below us and team above us have also lost this weekend. So there's no, in terms of points in the table, there's no ground lost. All we are is one game closer to qualifying for European football next season in the Premier League. 4 games left in the Premier League now. It's difficult next Sunday. No centre back unless Zuma makes a recovery. But in regards to this one, I'm proud of the boys. I think Moyes has done the right thing. Even though we've lost the game, I still think Moyes has done the right thing, resting the players ahead of Thursday. He's had a bit of a look at that 3 should he need to use it on Thursday, and I thought they played quite well. And lots of positives to take from this. So there's frustrations and what ifs and maybes, which is what you're saying. Had we played our first 11, we might have got 3 points for that. We don't know. I understand why Moyes has done it, and he'll come away feeling a bit mugged off, really, Moyes, that we should have got a point from it. And it's hard to disagree with him. I think Lukaku goes down easy, by the way, for that red card. It's embarrassing. A guy that size, we saw him tussling, right? About 10, 15 minutes before that, we saw him tussling with Declan Rice in the middle of the park. A really good battle between the two of them, really going at it, barging each other off the ball. And it lasted for probably only about 5 seconds, but that's a long time in the game of football. The two of them, Lukaku's got it, Rice has got it, and Rice comes away with it, right? But there was Lukaku really going at it, shoulders grabbing each other, whatever. It's a really good physical battle. Then all of a sudden, Dawson touches him, and both his feet go up above his hips. He lands on his back, and piss off, mate. Like, it's a free kick and stuff. But this is, I don't know. I don't like that kind of thing. I don't mind. It's a free kick. It's a foul, fine. But it's a bit play acting-y as well, and it just doesn't sit right with me.
Honestly, Dillian White was knocked out last night by Tyson Fury, and Fury still had to push him over. Basically, Lukaku went down quicker than Dillian White went down last night. So yeah, he's a big baby, and to be fair, but he don't want to be there. So whatever.
Anyway, 2 things before we get on to the individual performance. We'll discuss some players' performances. One guy in particular I want to discuss, Gonzo. But first of all, make sure you like the video and subscribe if you're new. And second of all, we've got an offer on our shop at the minute for the next 16 days. You go to hammerschatstore.com, links in description. If you want one of the Martin Noble products, we've got 2 T-shirts, including this one, The Last Dance. And we've also got a mug with Declan Rice and Martin Noble on it. So those 2 T-shirts with Noble on it and the mug with Noble on it. If you use the code MN16 at checkout, you get 16% off. 1 product, 2 product, 3 product, however many you want. I've just received a delivery of this, and I was trying to do the inventory before it came on. I've got a couple of the bigger sizes to add, so the 4XL and 5XL still be added to the store. They'll be up by tonight, though. So if you want a T-shirt, go grab one. I'll get it in the post this week, so you've got it in time for the Man City game as well. So MN16, 60% off anything with Mark Noble on. Gonzo, individual performers. Before I say take your pick, I know who your man of match is. We'll leave him. But Ben Johnson, the spotlight was on him a little bit. I thought tonight was a bit of an audition. Right centre back. We've seen him in glimpses there. But here he is up against Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, Lukaku came on. Mason Mount was over there by the end of the game. Pulisic was on the pitch. How do you think Ben Johnson got on?
Fine. Fine. Not bad at all, mate. Not bad at all. Look, Werner got the better of him a couple of times. He's going to do that. Werner is a good player. He really is. He just doesn't really have a cutting edge at the moment for Chelsea, but he's quick. He's got quick feet. I thought he handled it well. What I thought it played out in a way I thought it might play out, actually, which was playing at right centre back. His technique, his ball control don't half look too bad, to be perfectly honest with you, mate. It is in terms of, because you're basically comparing him to, well, you're comparing him to a centre back, and actually his passing's very good. You start comparing him to some of the wonderful wing backs you've got in the league, like the ones that Tottenham have got and all the rest of it. It ain't quite the same. But we start comparing him with a defender. The passing's fine, the first touch is fine, and it was a lovely bit of skill. Actually helped set up an attack. At one point, found himself really quick shift of feet, found him there, was able, and he's 2-footed. I thought it was some blood. He got ball got caught under him a little bit when Werner tried to nutmeg him earlier, but nothing came of it. He was still scrapping and trying to get round it. I think having Dawson there was massively important to him as well. But as an audition, I say audition. Auditions are a funny thing, because auditions suggest you don't know you're trying out for the role. If you don't know you're going to get it, really, it's an audition that he knows he's going to get the role. But as an audition, I think it worked pretty damn well. I'll tell you something. I'm a lot less nervous about that now, him playing in that formation against Frankfurt, than I was before the game. I've seen enough to think, okay, with 3 or 4 more days training, yeah, bring it on.
I thought he played well. I think not tested enough is how I would sum it up. I don't think Chelsea went at him, and defensively, I didn't think he had loads to do. But a promising performance from him, certainly nothing concerned me massively. I thought physically he looked good, he looked strong. On the ball was probably the best aspect of his game from a right side back position, that one you're talking about, because he's under pressure at that point. He gets the ball in. You could almost sense we were running out of options down that side when they were doing that passing. It was himself, Noble was over there, Fornals was over there, Yarmolenko was over there. It was almost like everyone got out of jail until they went to Ben Johnson. Then we were out of get out of jail cards. It was sort of to Ben Johnson, you're going to have to do something here. He sort of skimmed Werner a little bit and knocked it down the right and put Yarmolenko away. And thought, wow, hello, there we go. And I guess that's the benefit of playing right centre back. Generally, you're up against a left winger who generally, they're not that great defensively. Now, that's a different scenario when it comes to Frankfurt. If Kostic is playing left wing, then you're not going to get that leeway. But I thought he was really good today. And he was the one I was focusing on, if you want. And I thought he passed. Maybe not 10 out of 10, but certainly a comfortable 7 out of 10 minimum performance from him today. Really pleasing. And not your man of match, but any other individuals you wish to discuss?
I was really pleased with how Souček filled in at sort of was almost another centre half. And when you look at the stats, actually the interceptions and clearances, Souček's, I think, the 3rd most in the game. So just shows what a shift he put in there. Obviously, he had to forget any attacking. So I was really, really pleased to see that as well. I thought Yarmolenko was better than I thought he would be. I've got to say, I thought looked fitter than I thought he would be, actually. So it's a fair play to him. I didn't think we were brilliant. I just thought the defence was good. I was sort of disappointed. Please do take this in context. You know, I'm not even that disappointed about the result, but I think just watching it, you know, Frankfurt's a much bigger game. But if we've got to analyse this game as a game in its entirety, I was disappointed with Fornals' passing. I thought he worked really hard, but I thought his passing was off and could have helped us get up the pitch a little bit better. Disappointed with Benrahma's end product, the bit that you described, but there were 2 others as well, when he's like a deer in the headlights. And just sometimes when you're playing in that role, I spoke about the pace. If you noticed, I mean, Benrahma was outpaced by Thiago Silva, which ain't good. It's not good at all.
He's not outpaced, though. He just doesn't want it, does he? He almost sees a 50-50 coming and thinks, oh, you can have that one, mate. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, I understand your frustration. I'm frustrated too, because that pass you did to Yarmolenko earlier on the second half, when we were under the cosh, we were struggling to get the ball out. We gave it to him, and he just first time looped it. It was easy to cut over the Chelsea, but then about 3 seconds later, they're outside our box again. I thought, come on, Benrahma, mate, we're struggling here. As a defender, you must want to run up the pitch and scream at him. Say, listen, we've been defending for 10 minutes now with no outball, nothing. We've contained them. We'll give it to you. You could take about 4 touches here or something, but instead you try a first-time pass. And if it works, it's genius. But he wasn't good enough to do it first time. And it just gave the ball back to Chelsea, come back out. It's so frustrating sometimes because he's got the ability. Just
yeah, absolutely. It was difficult there, but Masuaku. Well, Masuaku almost gave him a chance straight away. When they came down, well, obviously they came down the right because Masuaku's left because that's where he was playing. That being said, I did think he put in 2 good crosses during the game, Masuaku, and he actually had a very good shot, which you'll never see because the Chelsea defender blocked it really well. But I swear that was going on target. I'd still like something else to be sorted out for the Frankfurt game, which we'll discuss and the build up to that. But all in all, you've got to say that, the defensive discipline that they all had, all of them. So I'm only really criticising Benrahma and Fornals in the attacking sense. Actually, in terms of keeping their shape and Yarmolenko as well, there was almost times where we didn't, even when we had 11 men on the pitch, we didn't have a centre forward. They would just, it was a bank of 5 and a bank of 4 and get through that. And I think everyone worked really hard, Gio, really, really hard.
Yeah, I thought Souček was really good today. I thought he was brilliant. I thought Martin Noble looked good in spells. I thought at times he looked like Martin Noble, which is unfortunately he's getting on a little bit at times. I thought there was Chelsea at one point in the first half came running down and Ben Johnson had to turn and sprint back to our 18-yard and turn around again because he thought, we're just not going to win this midfield battle here. We're going to get done in here. And he just went bombing back 20 yards. Almost said to, I think it was Loftus-Cheek for some reason, almost said, you can come 20 yards up the pitch. I'm getting back in next to Dawson and Zufal, and we're going to defend you here to some extent. It was like medieval time wars where it's like, we'll stand in a line shield wall here rather than attacking you out there and getting picked apart. I thought Souček played really, really good. I thought Masuaku was fine. I thought Creswell was fine. He got cut out of possession once. The only thing I'll say about Creswell, there was a moment in the second half, Yarmolenko made a fantastic run. The run was just perfect. You come running across.
I know it.
He went, and Creswell had to play it, but he took a touch to control it, then played it, and Yarmolenko turned around, and you could see some of the players almost looking at Yarmolenko going, you're offside again, because he had been offside a few times. But had Creswell played it the right time, he was in. Yarmolenko's run was perfect. The timing,
he ran to the left-hand side. Yeah. He went from right to the left.
In between the centre back and right back, in he went. But because Creswell took the touch and then played it, Yarmolenko looked like he was 5 yards offside. But Creswell played it just when he had to. He was in. But I thought Yarmolenko put in a good shift in a weird way. It was quite telling when he took it off Benrahma. The one pass Fornals did do that was good today. Put it in between Yarmolenko and Benrahma. I think it was for Yarmolenko. You watch Fornals' face. He sees Yarmolenko's run. The ball goes in. Benrahma's in the better position. He's coming in. But Yarmolenko thinks, no, I'm having this. Smacks it with his left foot across the goal. It was almost like Yarmolenko's way of saying, I'm fed up with playing with you, mate.
Well, it's funny you say that because I think possibly it was Gary Neville alluded to that in a commentary, and he said that he thought it should have been left to Benrahma, and Benrahma was a different situation. Well, Benrahma had already been in that situation earlier on in the game, and I thought, no, actually, I don't mind, because Benrahma wouldn't have shot. Benrahma would have controlled it and would have travelled with it. That's what he would have done. And we needed to be quick. And all right, it wasn't accurate, but that would have been a hell of a goal had it had gone in. But no, I did think that. I thought, no, you don't understand. You don't watch it. He would not have shot then. He would have basically, and then what would have happened was he would have dribbled, he would have sort of teased it up, and Chalobah would have come over and closed him down, and probably would have ended up in a Chelsea goal kick.
But anyway, good performances. Well, enough good performances out there today. We're just unlucky at the end of it. Can I get any final words from yourself, Gonzo, as well as your man of match, please? I think we're going for the same one again.
Well, look, we're not in a fight with Chelsea. We're not in a fight, I don't feel, with Tottenham and Arsenal. Chelsea are in a fight with Tottenham and Arsenal, and that's worked out okay for them today. Well, really well, not okay. We're in a fight with Manchester United and Wolves. So we're all right. That's not something. It's hard to. That would have been nice to get another 3 points up there, but we had a couple of games coming up which were a major worry, and one of them was Chelsea, and one of them was Arsenal, because obviously they're two big teams. So that's one of them out of the way. We're still no better off. We're still no worse off either, which is the main thing. And there's once Arsenal's out the way, there's some fixtures there which ain't too bad. So I'm not unhappy about that. I don't mind what Moyes did at all. To keep Antonio fresh. I mean, I think we're going to see a really fit and firing Antonio for that one. Nearly worked as well. Really, nearly worked. Awful game of football to watch, by the way. But West Ham fans were magnificent. So loud, so many songs, just absolutely brilliant. Fabianski man of the match. There you go. Was so many saves. By the way, the deflected one was really good. The first one he did was absolutely immense. 5 or 6 saves, mate. Really, really good performance.
We don't have the same man of match. Fabianski did play well. Really good save when the deflected one from Edge. My man of match is Craig Dawson. I know he got sent off, but brilliant. He was incredible today. He was just blocking everything. As a Chelsea striker, you must have thought, well, you just piss off. Every time I'm shooting your block, you just get out the way. Just move. I would have honestly, if I was a striker, I just went to one side of the box and be like, I'm just staying away from him, because every time I get the ball, he's there. Blocked everything. The only he done 2 things wrong today. Almost got punished for one, which was he put his head down and then Werner ended up having a shot. And then the second one was obviously touching Lukaku. But I get why he's done it. I find it hard to have any anger towards it. But the performance prior to getting sent off was so good. He's still man of match for me. He was unbelievable. I don't know how many blocks and clearances he did today. But the worst thing is, in the first half, anytime that we had an attack, I found myself genuinely wanting Craig Dawson to get the ball so he could launch the attack from the back. Because his passing, those 50-yard passes he's been doing the last few years, they weren't as good today. Last few weeks, there's almost been like a 1 or 2 passes he does, which is just chef's kiss stuff over the top defense into someone's run perfectly. None of that today, but his balls were on the deck and fizzed into all that free kicks we were winning in the first half. Most of them came from Craig Dawson fizzing it into someone's feet. Fornals taking a touch, bang, in comes Thiago Silva. Thank you very much, Craig Dawson. I'll have that. I thought Craig Dawson was unbelievable today. Like 9 out of 10. The only reason it doesn't get 10 is because he got sent off. Felt a bit sorry for him. You could tell he looked a bit gutted as he went off as well. You could tell he's taking a bit of a gamble. The only time he got done by a Chelsea striker was that one. And it was a good turn by Lukaku. That is what he's good at, using his body to get around the defenders and stuff. And it's a shame, really, because that will overcloud a really good performance from him. But that was sort of Winston Reid at the Etihad-esque anyway. Should we leave it there, my friend?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. We've got lots to be doing in the next week up until Thursday.
We do. We've got loads to talk about, loads to look forward to as well, including, obviously, as Gonzo said, the Frankfurt game on Thursday. We'll both be back tomorrow with videos on each channel, so do check them out. We'll be back tomorrow with our play ratings on Patreon as well. And also, like I said, head over to hammerschatstore.com, MN16. Get your 16% off. Until then, myself and Gonzo will catch you in a bit. If you enjoy this preview, drop a like on it. Subscribe to the channel. We'll see you soon.